Hello, this is Mario Liao. I'm going to be going over some drawing techniques and best practices for drawing with pencil. Hopefully you can find some of this information useful in your future drawings. Here we go. Okay, so I'm a little bit of background before we get all the way into this. I am a Art 1 high school art teacher, and I also work with 8th grade students. I work with high school students for Art 1 and 8th grade students, also with 8th grade art. Right now, due to health concerns, we're doing a lot of virtual learning. And so this is some demonstrations leaning towards that transformation of information. Drawing techniques. So some of the basic things that I'd like to cover or go over with all of y'all is there's more than one way to hold a pencil. I'm sure you've practiced these growing up and subconsciously it's there, but this is some of the purposes behind some of that. So I'm using a basic pencil and a spiral again because I don't know what type of materials you might have at home, and so I'm going to start off simple. Holding the pencil back. Okay, here we have a halfway point. I'm going to slide back to about a third left of the pencil. So 2/3 extending beyond. And I'm going to do some shading. This grip is very, very useful for doing light values when shading. You don't put a lot of pressure on the pencil, and so you come out very soft. Next, I'm going to grip the pencil, as you see here, putting my index finger on top to apply more pressure. And you see I get this darker value, a lot wider stroke as well. So very good for deep values and shadows. And then finally we have a normal grip on a pencil, as if you were writing or doing detailed drawing. So any kind of detailed lines, and we have this type of grip. You can always adjust your pressure in this grip as well, and you can get some lighter values, but this is more for fine lines and details. One of the great things about working with pencils is that you can achieve a variety of values. To achieve these various values, I'm going to do some different style of drawing here. I'm going to start off with the most common and basic, and that's a general fade or gradient. And to do that, what's most comfortable for my hand is I like to start off with a very dark value. And I work my way to a lighter value. If necessary, you can repeat to get more mid values in between. Now this can also be done in reverse, where you have your light value and then you can work your way darker. However, I prefer going from dark to light. Also notice as I'm doing this, my grip on the pencil, I'm about halfway right now. And it's good to practice this so you can see what your hand is more comfortable in achieving. So values can also be done in different ways, like I was saying. So I can create the same effect with this circular spiral. And so I increase the intensity here. and then lighten it up towards the end. So this is just, in basic terms, this is a bunch of scribbles, but I'm creating a value. What you'll notice up here, this style right there is a form of hatching. So hatching is when you have lines of various direction. Parallel lines, they can be intense in value or they can be soft. Then we have what these are, which is simply put crossing over your previous lines, and the term is cross-hatching. The direction of line and the number of lines in the crosshatch doesn't change the name or the form, but it does increase your value. There are various other methods to achieve this effect of change in value. There's also pointillism, where you have various dots along the page and then you increase that number of dots and put them closer together, and you can achieve darker values. And all of these are just different ways to work on and complete a full-scale drawing. Here we have an example of hatching and how it affects values in a drawing. I started off pretty basic. I went with a cactus and some landscape lines in there. All hatching. There's no double crossing or anything like that on here. You'll notice I used horizontal lines to represent the sky. Add a light value, lots of space between. I closed the lines in a vertical fashion to create a deeper value for the cactus, and then change the direction again for the foreground at the bottom. When doing a drawing with just hatching, this change in direction helps to differentiate different planes or surface planes within your work. So in the sky, we have this one directional line going on here, and to break that up, I chose to change the direction and create a new object. Again, the direction was changed at the bottom to show that there's a difference in the surface plane. Here in example 2, we have this cross-hatching technique. Same idea as far as composition on the previous example, except I crossed over to increase my values. So cross-hatching allows you to incorporate an extra set of values. You have more midtones that you can create. You also have more dark values that you can create, which you can see here on the side of the edge of the cactus. Those would be the darker values. Now this technique appears a lot more visible when used with ink. Because of the intensity of ink, you're not able to get as this light, middle, and dark value like you would in a normal pencil. And therefore, when you do this shape, and I'll do one right here, I'm gonna draw out a cactus. Now, to do this in that cross-hatching technique, I have to start somewhere, so I have to start with this hatch mark. But since it's all black, you know, it's all one single value. And I use that cross-hatching method to create a sense of a shadow. So while this technique can be used in pencil, this is just my preference. I recommend, of course, doing it with ink. You'll get better results out of it.